Welcome back. Interior Health has set a goal that by the year 2025, they would like to increase their working staff, Indigenous staff, by 10%. And this is a goal that has been recently released. Joining us today to talk a little bit more about this and why this is happening, sitting next to me, Brad Anderson. He is the Corporate Director of Aboriginal Health with IH. Welcome to the show, Brad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and Deb Donald, you are an Aboriginal patient navigator.
Yes.
It's great to have you on the show as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you guys must be encouraged to hear about this goal from IH. I think that it sounds to me that the hospitals want to represent who is coming in to use their facilities. And right now, the Indigenous statistics are far less than they should be. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? The people who work there's not enough.
Right, yeah, so in the interior region, Susan, we have the highest Aboriginal population in the province. Mm-hmm. So we have 7 distinct First Nations that make up 54 bands, large urban and Métis population.
Yep.
So we really want our workforce to reflect who our community and population is, right? And
that's what I was trying to say, although it just came out way better from you. So thank you for that. Right. So tell me a little bit about how this is going to go. You guys are going to be a part of this, or how does it work?
Yeah, so I could talk from our perspective. So really we're making a targeted, concerted effort at our Aboriginal population. So from a recruitment perspective, we're ensuring we're getting in front of the right audience, getting in front of our Aboriginal partners where we gather, or career fairs. You know, many of our vacancies are in our rural, remote areas, and that's where our First Nations communities are. So how do we sort of align the fact that we're the fastest growing demographic and start getting Aboriginal people into our positions more?
Absolutely. So Deb, you work at the hospital now, is that right, at Royal Inland Hospital?
I do, yes.
And how does it go? If somebody that is Indigenous comes into the hospital, they don't feel comfortable, is that where you come in? How does it work?
Exactly. So what happens is we try to get patients and their families as soon as they come into the ER. So part of our role is, making them comfortable and explaining our role as APNs and the emotional support, the discharge planning. We do a lot of cultural safety and competency with the staff and try to follow them throughout the hospital.
Right.
To make sure, the continuity of care is there when they return to their band or their community, that they have the supports that they need.
Would you say that having that influence and being able to sort of be with these people along their journey in the hospital, it makes a huge difference to them? I'm assuming it does.
Yes, I think it does. Mm-hmm. Kind of given the history of our people, hospitals can be quite an intimidating place.
Oh, sure.
Quite an institutional place. And not really knowing what's going on could be scary for some of our people.
Absolutely. So. We do have some pictures that we can go to. I believe you guys are in these. Who are we looking at here?
This is Garth Whale.
Okay.
And he works at Ponderosa in rehab.
Okay. Yeah. And then moving in, this is you sitting down with an Indigenous patient.
Yes. This is Deb. She was one of my patients, and that was us talking about her discharge plan homes.
Right, okay. And as we push through these, I know that some of them have to do with meeting dignitaries. The IH board chair, Doug Cochran, is an initiative that's important on so many levels. Is it achievable? Is 10% a big number? Is that achievable by 2025? That's only 7 years away.
Yeah, so we have some work to do for sure. So right now our workforce is only at 4% that have self-identified as Aboriginal. Okay. So obviously we want to double that and get to 10% as well in 7 years. And so, like I said, I think it's bold, it's ambitious, but we think it's valuable. And
sure.
I think, Susan, our leadership is very supportive of the work from our CEO to our set. So
Which is so
it's great.
Important.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of cultural training do medical staff get at the hospital to sort of be as prepared and knowledgeable as they can be?
Yeah, so I can maybe speak a little bit, Deb, and then you can add for sure. So I know we offer opportunities through cultural safety education, so in-person facilitation potentially, and there's online resources and modules to take as well. I know some of our universities have some curriculum development, but I think the big piece is really kind of that hands-on experience and having sort of a leader like Deb work with colleagues is a huge bonus. So, Deb, do you
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I can speak to with that. For one, we do have quite an extensive Aboriginal health component to our library, which we started in line with the cultural competency training through the provincial health. And one of the other things, a big part of our role is cultural safety, where medical staff or allied health aren't really aware of certain ceremonies and what to do with certain things after surgery and
Sure.
preparation families and people have for their journeys.
Right. We need more of you at the hospital, essentially, is what's going on here. And you know what? By 2025, that will be hopefully the difference, 6% more, bringing it to 10%. Never a better time for Indigenous people to get involved in the medical field, obviously. There's a great need for it, no matter what, but more representation is going to be a better thing for so many members of our community.
Right.
We're already out of time. It goes very quickly. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to be here today. So thank you for that. On the screen right now, we have the information if you would like to learn a little bit more about this topic. If you are Indigenous or you have somebody in mind that you think might be well suited for a profession at the hospital, it might be worth taking a look at this because that need is now. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.